Say it in common. Say it in common.
Okay, here we go. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Say It in Common, where we talk about it all, not just Dungeons and Dragons. I'm AJ Cannon.
Seth Templin.
Tyrel Merle.
Anthony Tate.
Anthony Tate.
New
everyone.
guest. Is he a guest? I don't know. He can come on anytime. He's part of the campaign.
Yeah, you're more than welcome anytime, Tate. I know we haven't invited you, but
He's just married, so we don't
did
like
you
him
even
that
know we
much.
were doing this?
I mean, you guys had said it and talked about it,
Oh, okay.
but like, I'm
We know you've listened to all the ones that we've posted.
gonna be honest. Didn't realize it was a serious thing.
Who
I was like,
says it's
oh, okay,
serious?
say it in common. Yeah, that's neat.
Okay, before we jump in, quick advertisement for our good friend, Tiger Skull RPG.
Tiger Skull RPG!
I'm so glad you had that ready. I had no idea that was coming. So, Tiger Skull RPG offers monthly 3D printable miniatures complete with 5e stats, digital illustrations, and loot cards. Everything you need for fully realized NPC encounters. Tiger Skull RPG is creating true print and play collectibles so you can hop right into your RPG with the latest figure. You can check it out at tigerskullrpg.com and patreon.com/tigerskullrpg, where you can get started for as low as $1 a month. They're also on Instagram at Tiger Skull RPG. You can go check out some of their stuff. Quality stuff.
You've painted your last mini that he made, right?
I did. I
Yeah.
painted the Deathless Apprentice, which is a super cool enemy.
Yeah. I can't wait to use it. Y'all are way too low level for me to break it out yet, though. Got to get y'all a little higher.
Yeah.
But I have a whole idea for probably a whole game, or a whole, like, episode, a whole setting.
All Deathless Apprentice.
Just taking care of the Deathless Apprentice.
That'll be awesome.
It's going to be awesome.
Be awesome. Anyway, check out Tiger Skull RPG. Go buy their stuff. Support them on Patreon. Really cool. Just taking off.
Super cheap.
Yeah, not
Go show them
expensive
some
at all.
love. Show them some support.
All right, so jumping into our Keeping It Common about episode 5 of the campaign.
The one where Cynthia played.
Cynthia, the one where Cynthia played. Hopefully we'll see her again.
She would like that reference because, like, all of Friends
'Cause she likes
calls
Friends.
our
yeah.
episodes
The one where something happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one I finally got. She's played before, but she was so awkward in this one because it's the first time she did it on podcast, and it made me laugh so much.
Yeah.
Because she felt like a Nancy Drew NPC.
That's exactly what she felt
like with just
Yeah.
a dialogue that she
Yeah,
had to read off.
before we had met her character, she's over here writing a script first.
Writing so much stuff.
The thing about Cynthia was she needed to have a script, even if she wrote it 10 seconds before she said it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you
She
couldn't
did-
stop her in the middle of her. She was going to plow through.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it was adorable.
Uh-huh.
But she, towards the middle of the game, like,
That's what I was telling my wife. Is I said, like Cynthia. At first, it was kind of awkward because she was on rails with
Yep.
her
super on rails.
and I was like, well, once she kind of broke into it and started feeling natural.
I think you two started arguing about something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, she.
which, if y'all remember, y'all, that's what, like, she loved playing that in other games that she'd played in. She would just stop y'all from arguing, and that
Yeah.
was her entire character. That's just
Yeah.
what she enjoys playing, I guess.
Buck and Quincy were arguing, and she's like, no, we got to go get my owlbears.
Yeah,
And when's Haley going to come play with us?
she's not.
She's just out.
She is out of it.
Any chances of that went out the window when we started recording, huh?
Oh man, I mean, well, she did tell me this week that if we really blow up, if we really get a lot of support, we start getting money in and all that. She's like, she's totally going to be in.
When I was over at Kyle and Brianna's when AJ first told me that he got us a sponsor, and I was telling them all this awesome stuff that AJ was getting us involved in, and Brianna looks at Kyle and was like, I'm rethinking this whole playing Dungeons and Dragons thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hop on the bandwagon.
Cynthia has told me that if I buy her a $1,500 camera for her birthday, she'll take photos of us playing.
Oh my gosh.
And that's the reason that she thinks I'll get it, is if... like,
See, Haley is a huge fan of The Real Housewives, mostly New Jersey, and I get a lot of. I don't like the show.
Yeah,
but it's
just
easy to
drama.
get sucked in because it's so dramatic and so stupid.
Jersey
Like,
Shore was like that for me in college. I hung out with two girls who
Yes.
loved the Jersey Shore.
yeah,
Golly.
like you start realizing these people have names, and you start using their names in conversation. Like, what is Teresa doing? You know, it's absolutely.
It's hurtful that I know who Snooki is.
Oh, I know.
It has done me nothing but
I don't watch the show.
harm to realize the impact these people have had. But I told Haley that if we do really blow up, then we might. I pitched this idea to AJ earlier this week. I think it would be hilarious to do like a parody of like the Real Housewives of D&D. You know, like a one episode series on YouTube. Just
Haley and Cynthia and Brianna all in here. That would be hilarious.
And we'll hire two girls to pretend to be y'all's wives.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you,
mean,
Seth.
totally.
Appreciate it.
Why? Like you need you guys too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or we just put y'all in wigs and y'all could be y'all's
Yeah,
own
we'll just-
girlfriend. That would be that would be funny. But this was a fun for me getting my wife to play. That was a blast. Did y'all like that episode? Did
That
y'all?
was one of my favorite ones.
Really?
I mean, I was saying earlier, 5 and 6 were my two favorites so far, and they was just, I don't know, it didn't seem as serious. Like 4, we're afraid we're going to die because we're fighting the demon thing, and I mean, anytime you're fighting something, you know, it's a little bit more scary. But 5, I don't know, the mood was just light. Even though we were fighting stuff, it was just, I felt comfortable the whole time that nothing bad was gonna happen, and the combat was funny actually.
Well, it was easy to feel really comfortable when. Are we talking about actually what happens in game?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good, because I didn't want to spoil anything.
No,
but
it's already there.
Yeah.
We're just
Just
on episode 5. Don't do
like-
anything about 6.
yeah, of course not. But like Cynthia, absolutely, just beheading and goring
I
these.
think it was him. It was Tyrel that was beheading stuff.
She used her bladed whip and cut a dude in half.
Okay.
Yeah,
And Tyrel was trying to decapitate people.
like seriously, we were on a gore.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it was.
Yeah,
Maybe I was trying to make it a little more interesting for my wife, just like make her feel accomplished.
And then it kept being the joke that blood squirts out and hits so and so that was close by. And then Buck was way over there and he decapitated the dude. He said, "Blood hits Buck," and he's like 50 yards away.
I actually have a bone to pick with Buck on this episode.
All right.
So going into this episode, I try to get a few people to like I find out like what they want to do before the game, you know, just so I'll know. AJ convinced me like I'm going to talk everyone out of it. Buck does not want to be a hero in this town. He is not going to want to stay for a celebration. And I was like, yeah, okay. So I get my wife here. I was like, you're not going to have to wait very long. We're going to get to you really quick because they're not staying in this town. Buck did a 180 on this hero thing. Had to get the heroes feast. Had to be a hero to this town.
Yeah,
what
what the
was
heck,
up with
man?
that?
You know, and
Big stray away from how you were behaving.
I think you absolutely have a really good point with that, and I think, like, this is gonna sound silly, but I take it seriously whenever I invest in, like, I make a character and I'm trying to make decisions the way that he would, and maybe he wouldn't have made that decision. That's why I'm referring to him in the third person, so it's really weird for me.
No, that's how we talk about all the characters.
Yeah.
But in that moment when they were talking about the feast and everything, it's not that I felt like Buck wanted to stay there to be the hero. It's Buck wanted to stay there to see these people celebrate, you know, in the middle of this dark, dreary time. He wanted to see kind of the payoff, you know? Like, he was, all we got to see was these people that were zombified who couldn't get a full night's rest, who were worked to death, and they were just, you know, the everyman trying to defend what they were doing with one, like, superhero in the group.
Oh, that's why you had so much sympathy, because they were the everyman.
Yeah,
like Buck
that's it.
is.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Buck
I mean,
was
that's
the everyman.
when we set out to plan this as a commoners, I wanted to view it as a commoner. Like, I'm not anything special. You know, we work 9 to 5, and you know, when something big happens and we all band together, we're stronger than just the one hero. We're stronger than just the wavy-haired blonde guy that comes in and slays the dragon, collects the lady,
Stefan.
and yeah, Stefan
No,
or
Damon.
Stefan.
No,
I thought it was
it's
Stefan.
It's
Stefan.
Stefan.
Okay, I'm the worst DM. I can't remember anything.
It's been a while.
That was a fan service to my wife again because she loves Vampire Diaries.
Oh, Stefan.
Which her last name of her character was Salvatore, which was also something from Vampire
Yeah,
Diaries.
I'm sure it was.
Anytime she's played, she's always been something from a
Yep.
show.
When we played the Inquisitors, she was her and your cousin were Betty and Veronica from
Yeah.
Riverdale.
Yeah.
Yeah, she likes the But that's fine. Like I every episode I put in a name from some fantasy that I enjoy. So
Well, that's fine.
Not a big deal.
You got to get your inspiration from somewhere. But I thought, I just listened to a little bit of it after I uploaded it.
Mm-hmm.
And we literally sat there for probably 10 minutes, me trying to convince everybody to leave because
And you
I
could
told
not do it.
Couldn't do it.
No.
I was outvoted 3-1. And Urist didn't want to be rude. Thran is still convinced that we're going to
Ren, yeah, I felt so bad because like it in my mind as a DM, and I know like y'all don't imagine things how I imagine them because I'm building the encounters and stuff. So y'all take care of the Capra Demon, it's done. Like, and Tyrel is just convinced we haven't finished it yet. And I was like,
I was positive that there was something else there. Somebody else is behind this.
Well,
Who summoned him?
There is
You might not
somebody.
be wrong, but as far as what you're going to accomplish in that episode or in this town at this moment, you are done. And I like it's hard for me because I have to figure out a way of somehow letting you know without just straight up saying it. No.
Right. That's why. Well, that was why Quincy wanted out of there. We got stuff to do. We don't need to be chilling out somewhere this close to home. Where
Now, is this the
somebody
episode you snuck out and you saw?
No, that was
It was
4.
4.
Yeah.
Okay. Anthony, I've asked these two. What was your take on the old woman,
Millicent.
Millicent? Yeah. What's your take on Millicent?
I mean, at first, I feel like I was the one that maybe started voicing the suspicion of her in the first place. So, like, at first I was like, oh, dude, she's
You
guilty.
didn't want to take her apple.
No, I'm not.
Stupid apples.
I'm not about...
You described them as blood red apples.
and her
You
name is
wanted-
Millicent, so I think I associated that with Maleficent from...
Okay, never made that
Okay.
jump.
And like, I was like, okay, she's an evil witch. I mean,
Okay.
it's absolutely... and then, like, we started getting into it, and I was like, okay, listen. If she is evil, then I'm just not going to follow this, and I'm just going to be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just going to drop it there. And it kept going
None of you
beyond
were
that.
ever pleasantly surprised that she turned out to be helpful. Like,
No.
We still don't know.
Still don't like.
Because
What is your thoughts on Delilah, the girl that you saved from the Capra Demon?
now, I think she was in on it.
In on it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember.
What about Roran with that mysterious missing arm?
That's
Dude.
not that mysterious. Anybody can-
Stand up. That dude is a stand up. He's a folk hero. He's a blacksmith. He works hard all day, and he's got a fiery arm.
He's got to have more of a past. Did we get his whole story? I mean, he said he bought that at a shop in Derry. Well, why was he in Derry? Why did he? Well, I guess he uses that thing to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be.
And
the
it's
reason.
it's made out of fire, so that's really,
Helpful for.
it's helpful for a blacksmith.
He is the forge.
Yeah, that's it. And the thing is, like, I think one fatal flaw of my character, of Buck, is that if they are an everyman, he's going to trust them.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, it's like, okay, I get
That's
it.
good for a DM to know.
I
can
mean,
use that.
I figured you could use that somewhere, but like,
Millicent is an everyman.
she's a magic user.
Oh,
She's not an everyman. She's out in the middle of this zombie apocalypse picking apples. Come on.
But they weren't going to come until midnight. She had plenty of time to
Right,
get
but
back.
we didn't know that.
Well,
we just knew about the zombie. What was it? Zombie dogs that we saw, or zombie wolf, or
Yeah, it was a dog. Undead
Death
dog.
dog. Death dog.
death dog. I mean, we saw that thing, and it was, it was like, okay, this woman.
And you're the one holding the coin that Delilah gave, right?
Yeah.
What is your thoughts on that? We talked about that last episode, but
Oh man,
this is all kind of connected since the party and all that.
right.
so-
I don't know. Now that I have suspicions about Delilah, and I don't know. I really hadn't thought about it in that context yet. It could be that she's spying on us.
Yeah, maybe it's like a tracker.
Yeah. Or she can listen with it.
Yeah,
Maybe-
true.
maybe-
we ought to ditch that.
Maybe we ought to stuff some cotton. Maybe we ought to stuff some cotton in the coin bag with it or
Yeah.
something in my pocket.
Just get a bag of holding and
Yeah, I
stick
was
it
gonna
in
say a
there.
bag of holding.
Yeah.
Put it
She
in the
can listen to the
pocket
void.
Yeah.
Well, keeping it more episode 5. So moving forward, the reason that I really liked it so much, I mean, we had the celebration, a lot of role play,
Yeah.
a lot of just do
That was
whatever you
fun.
want kind
Yeah.
of fun stuff. But Thyren's egg hatched.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I was not expecting a
I forgot
phoenix.
all about the phoenix egg.
The baby phoenix.
Which I still have not used yet.
Nope.
It's not
Well,
quite.
They
you
hadn't
know,
had much of a
there's no
chance.
fight really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we had the one. I could have used it in the fight
Yeah.
between. Actually, in this episode, I
Yeah.
could have used it then, but I didn't. It didn't really come to me at the time to use it.
Oh yeah,
That's just another Pinterest special. I love getting on Pinterest and looking at Dungeons and Dragons stuff. And when you told me, like I asked you, I think one of your things was you wanted one of your level 0 things is you get a tome of spells from
Yeah.
your master, right? And I think I rolled for him, and then I rolled for that one, and then I found this phoenix egg, and I was like, I'm going to take this one away from you. Don't worry about wasting
Yeah.
any of your spell slots on getting a find familiar, because I think I have something you'll like. And I think it might be really OP. I don't know. Like I don't know. If I really want to be a dick, I can just attack it, I guess.
I mean, it would probably die in one hit. Like it'd go
Yeah.
into its egg form in
Right.
one hit.
And then since I know how it works, I could destroy the egg, but I don't know. Like I think it's pretty cool little
cool
find familiar.
familiar.
Yeah. And like in my imagination, like in just like 3 or 4 more days, like it's not gonna be a little chick anymore. I think it should just keep growing until you have a full phoenix. Like that'll be freaking sweet.
the same stat block though.
Yeah.
You'd think a full grown.
I don't know. I've looked at actually stat blocks for higher phoenix levels, but it's still familiar. So
How
like, I can't
big
give
is
it
a
2.
full-grown phoenix?
Well,
That's the thing.
okay, that version I think it must be from an older edition of like restatted for 5th edition
I don't know.
because it is a celestial right here.
Okay.
In the new version of the phoenix, it's actually an elemental, and it is I want to say huge creature.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I found the guy who I found the guy on Reddit who posted like he wanted people to play test it and stuff. So I don't know if it's old or new, but he just created it for the 5th edition, as far as I know.
I might,
Tyrel taking
if
the
it is
sneak there.
huge, I might. It would be. I think it'd be kind of cool to be a dwarf phoenix, not the size of a. I don't know.
I think
Condor.
of Phoenix. The only thing I've really ever seen a Phoenix in is Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of a large peacockish size. I wouldn't call that huge by any means.
Well, another thing is about phoenixes is also they're like they could like bestow like cure like diseases and all sorts of stuff because they're like supposed to be like a
Oh,
Harry's did too. Dumbledore's
Final Fantasy.
Kinda.
Phoenix Down.
no.
If y'all ever played that, I don't know.
I have not.
This is not on the console though. We are sticking to the campaign.
Sorry.
Yeah, so then we find Twy, which was hilarious when the owlbear swatted the gnome guy way far away. That was funny. The
No
little
name,
gnome
no
guy.
NPC, no.
Yeah, just that was funny. Then we take off.
Now, was Kyle in this game? He wasn't, was he?
No, Kyle was not. here.
Okay.
And then we're interrogating the poacher woman, and that was all Anthony, except I kept slapping her
Yeah.
until I knocked her out. But that was fairly interesting.
And again, there was a fun dynamic of Buck and Quincy. Like Quincy's just accepting this mercenary life almost.
Well, he's an adventurer at heart. It's
Yeah.
kind of coming out of him, and the rest of
And
him.
Buck is hardcore fighting it and him about it.
Yeah,
I mean that.
And I love, as a DM, I love that dynamic. I love y'all's conversations of you like trying to reel him back, and Quincy's
that's the
kind of
thing.
like throwing the carrot out to you, like edging you back towards the adventure life as well.
That's the thing. I'm not as Buck. He's not the. He's still a baker.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he
When all this is over, you expect to just he'll be able to go
his
back to
end goal is to go back to
Juniper Grove.
Juniper Grove.
No,
I almost said
Hollyhead.
Hollyhead.
Hollyhead. God, I'm a horrible.
To go back to
Horrible
Hollyhead,
DM.
to build a new bakery and to carry
Matthew
on.
Mercer would be
Basically,
so disappointed in me.
basically like the end of the Lord of the Rings. The hobbits go back to is it Hobbiton? Is that what they call it?
No,
Shire?
the Shire.
I thought that was the town though. I don't know. Anyways, the
I don't
Shire. They
know.
go back to the Shire and nobody knows what they did. Everybody looks at them with disgust, like I can't believe you guys left. And
It's funny that you say that because I'm currently reading Wheel of Time, and they're from a very small village, and one of the things that the author is like driving home as like they go to bigger and bigger villages and then cities and stuff, and the main character is like he claims all the time, I'm just a shepherd. I belong there. But as he keeps going, like you can tell he's getting too far away. He's getting too deep into this. Like he would never. I'm only like halfway through book 2, so, and there's 15 books. So I'm like I can already tell you he's going to be way into the adventuring life. He's going to be way too interested in it. Even if everything worked out for him, he could never go back to living in a small town and just herding his sheep again.
unless something absolutely awful happens, and then he's just like, okay, yep, I'm done.
Yeah, maybe.
Time to hit the old trail back.
But
I don't.
that's your long goal. I think this is something else I asked them. What is your long-term goal for Buck?
Clear the record, get back home.
Clear the record.
I think that's kind of all of our goals right now, because we're still kind of getting used to what's going on. Like we're not.
Like even if we make it up to like level 20 characters,
I would love for that because I would love to.
Don't kill it.
he's like basically
Don't do anything stupid, Tyrel.
where basically he's got this, this connection to the gods,
Which you have not talked about with the other players.
and I won't
in-game.
because I mean in the campaign they're lost. I think I keep saying the dead gods, but they're lost, So
By accident.
I don't want people to.
I mean, you keep finding the one that's talking to you at least
Yeah.
in a cemetery.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the thought I had is lost, dead, kind of the same thing. Because who is it that what race can believe in a god so much that it comes to life?
The Kuatoa.
So,
Yeah.
my thought is people don't believe enough in these gods; they dwindle. So
And that's why Rask and the Inkling are trying to find the
them,
gods by
yeah.
doing good deeds.
yeah,
I don't know if
Might
you're
have to-
picking it up, but my
Clever.
stomach is making some noises.
Last thing, so we went into the cave to get the baby owlbears
and I
back.
totally expected y'all to have to fight the people in the cave,
But
and y'all didn't.
we snuck out of there.
No, I was very impressed.
Clever play.
Yeah, I mean, that took a lot of cooperation.
Yeah.
And some good rolling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
A few good rolls
absolutely.
and it was. I don't know. It was fun. There was a lot of variety in that.
There was
we
a
had
lot
an
of
interrogation. We had some combat. We had just some fun role play.
Yeah,
Great episode.
Something I like in that y'all probably don't. I know y'all liked it at the time was Cynthia's weapon. That
Yes.
the whip.
bladed
enhanced
whip.
whip.
I hate that 5th edition has a rapier is the only thing you can use if you want to do good damage with your dexterity, and like all of the heavy weapons are pretty much 2d6s or 1d12s. I mean, there's no that's all there is. It's just the same thing reskinned. And I hate that. They need to add so many more items to the list. Like we've not played Pathfinder 2, but their weapon list is like twice as long and just so much more interesting. That's why I created Cynthia's, what did I call it?
I don't know. It's
I don't
a
know.
whip
It's
with blades.
Whip, it's
Blade.
kind of like
Whip.
Ivy off of the was it Soul Calibur? Was it
think-
Soul Calibur?
I'm also thinking of is it Blade that has the whip thing too?
he has something like that.
Yeah, hunting vampires, cuts their heads off.
I don't know. But that was just
Like a
that was a
chain.
cool.
Yeah,
I think it did
blades on the
2d4, and she was able to grab people or take their weapons
it had a
away.
grappling.
In 3.5 edition, there was a chained whip, and you could do that. It had a 10-foot reach, and if on a successful attack, you could try to take a weapon out of someone's hands or trip them. Super awesome.
I mean,
And they need more stuff like that in 5th edition.
yeah, it's a nasty weapon. But once again, you did with 2d4. I mean, you've got a chance for really good damage, and you have a chance for not as good damage.
Yeah.
And
Whips are cool. Whips are fun. Like, why is that just a D4? That is, I just hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I was noticing in the Sword Coast Adventures guide, whenever they were talking about the Blade Singer in there, they have like a bunch of different fighting styles for blades on, and one of them actually involves, I can't remember which animal it is, but it involves using a whip because it's a one-handed weapon that you can use while casting spells and all that stuff. That's kind of cool.
pretty sweet.
I wanted to create a Indiana Jones character once for a game of Tomb of Annihilation.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't do it because I just could not bring myself to be useless in combat by having a D4. Like,
I
that
couldn't
should not be a
compromise.
D- It should not be a D4.
It shouldn't be a
Whip
D4.
would do some damage.
yeah.
But I mean, blades on it definitely helps.
Yeah. So that was a fun reskin that I.
Oh yeah, definitely.
like that.
And I am
the
totally like,
creativity with that.
if you guys find weapons that y'all like and stuff, like I'm all up for giving y'all cool weapons because I mean, spear is the same as a trident. That's just dumb. Like a trident,
It has 3 spikes on it.
yeah, it should
as
just
opposed to
do
one.
better stuff. It
Yeah.
should just be special somehow. I don't know.
You should be able to command water.
Definitely,
You
you
know?
should be Aquaman.
Yeah, I mean,
You
it
have a
should-
trident, you're Aquaman.
I mean, honestly,
You speak to animals, and that's all you're good for.
water, animals.
Water animals, fish.
Okay,
Sorry.
the Kraken maybe.
We got anything else about the campaign?
Anything else about session 5? I hope to get my wife back on. I don't know if she'll be Twy again.
She needs to be. She just needs to be somebody we find every now and then. Because that's fun.
The reoccurring character.
Yeah.
What was we watching the other day, and we wanted to add as a reoccurring character? Oh my god, it was so funny. It's like, my name is George or something like that. What was
Jeff.
it? Jeff.
Was
What
it
was
Jeff?
it? What was we watching?
Doolittle. Was it Doolittle? No.
Yes.
Or was
yeah,
it?
it was Duo. Hi, I'm Jeff. It was just a random guy
Yeah.
on a boat. It was freaking hilarious. We laughed so hard. Oh, that was funny.
Well,
All right.
speaking of Doolittle, I mean, we can do movie minute.
Okay.
I mean, you were going to talk about Scoob, but
I watched Scoob last night with my wife, and it was, we had to pay $20 for it, first of all, to rent it for 2 days. So you guys should stay and
What?
watch it tonight. It's brand new release, just came out last night, and it was more, which is still not very bad. It's like going to the theater, $10 a piece, not too bad.
Yeah,
and
but-
if you guys want to watch it, that'd be even better. But no,
That's way too
freaking
much.
loved it. I think she was falling asleep through the whole thing. I really enjoyed it. I grew up on Scooby Doo. When I was a kid, Scooby Doo gave me nightmares. Like it was.
oh my god!
I don't know why. I don't know why.
It's the same thing every time.
It's true, but like this was a great callback to Scooby Doo. Like it was like in the thing where they were kind of doing like a montage of stuff. I noticed characters from the old show that I watched that they had caught. That was really cool. It was like I was a kid again watching Scooby Doo for the first time. The animation was good. It kind of reminded me of Into the Spider-Verse. Just like I'm liking that animation is taking off to where it's more than just Pixar and Disney.
Yeah.
Other companies are starting to jump in there. Mark Wahlberg was in there. Zac Efron. They did a good job. Everyone sounded good. The characters were pretty much just like I remember. I don't think there was so much of a Daphne Fred love interest, but
Well, I think that's only been explored in a few different iterations of Scooby Doo.
kind of the movies. I think
The movies, and then Mystery Incorporated. You know, that the newer show.
I don't know if I've watched any of that one.
I mean, it's got a really neat story, albeit short. But I mean, it's you know, conspiracy theories and
Yeah.
Okay.
It was, well, I would
But anyways.
I actually looked at people are not enjoying Scoob very much, though. It is not getting very high on,
oh really?
I'd give it a 7.
Good movies would never
Yeah,
do.
I'd give it like a
Seems
7.5 or something.
The
And
whole
everything else is like
reason
5.5 and 6s.
the whole reason I don't think I would like it is like I've heard Shaggy's voice on the trailers, and it's you know. Like you grew up, or I grew up, you know, watching the old Scooby Doo. You hear Casey Kasem, you know, and he's like, you know, I can't do a Casey Kasem impersonation, but you know, like he's got.
Well, the movie actually talked about it. Just try to say like at the beginning of a word and try to sound like what you think a hippie sounds like.
There's that, and then I mean the Matthew Lillard take on it. He's like, you know,
I enjoy Matthew Lillard.
You challenging me? You know, that type of thing. And it from the trailers, I didn't think that he had that voice.
I like Shaggy, actually. His voice, I mean, I knew it wasn't the same people. Actually, I think Scooby was the same person because when I looked at the people who was in it, he was the only person who looked about 70 years old.
Did
Everyone
it
else
say
was
his
very
name?
young. I don't remember. But it was. I figure he was the original Scooby, and Scooby sounded really good. I recognize Zac Efron's voice. And I thought Mark Wahlberg was Ryan Reynolds,
Yeah.
but which Ryan Reynolds should just be in just about any animation because
my
he
gosh.
has a great animation voice.
Oh my gosh.
Did we do Doolittle on the last?
No.
We didn't. Okay.
No, we watched it after. So I was
Okay.
going to say, what about Doolittle? No,
I did not enjoy Doolittle.
we were not impressed.
Not. Did
Is
you?
that-
You
is-
left, didn't you?
Yeah.
Is that the one with?
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr.
I feel like here's the thing.
Did you watch? Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it. But my first impression, I should say, is Robert Downey Jr. is playing Sherlock Holmes, is playing, Dr. Doolittle.
Yeah.
You know?
I didn't. I had a hard time even understanding him.
He mumbled.
was mumbling.
Yeah.
The whole time, and he was in an accent, so it was really hard. The animal, John Cena was the bear.
Oh,
he was
of
very
course.
clear to understand. The animation was superb. The only, the squirrel in the very beginning was really bad animation. He was like, oh, well, that's CGI. But
Yeah.
every other animal was
They
too.
looked pretty good.
But none of them you could tell was CGI.
Yeah.
It was very well.
I guess maybe it's hard to do a squirrel.
Small
So-
fuzz, maybe.
So what we're basically saying is Scoob, great. Doolittle,
You can pass on Doolittle.
You have to come all the time just so you can do sound effects.
You can pass on the Doolittle.
Yeah, I would pass on the Doolittle.
The boy that's his apprentice annoyed the crap out of me. But I don't know. A lot of
boy
kids
that's an
annoy the crap out of
apprentice
me in
that
movies.
Yeah.
I mean, sounds a little derivative of Star
Antonio
Wars, doesn't it?
Banderas was all right. I don't know.
It wasn't impressive.
Yeah.
We laughed pretty good a couple times. There was a couple funny
Few
things,
times.
but
Totally expected his. I don't want to give up spoilers, but
okay, no spoilers.
yep. I think we gave Doolittle a 5 out of 10, didn't we?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But Scoob, I gave a good 7.5.
7.5.
It's a
All
C.
right, that's your movie minute. Moving into on the console, Anthony's going to take this one away.
I don't know what I'm going to take it away with.
We've talked about before how you're the retro gamer. So
Yeah,
what
you're
have
the
you
I
retro
mean,
gamer.
I enjoy some retro games. I mean, I'll say back in January for my birthday, my wife got me the SNES Classic, Super Nintendo Entertainment System Classic.
I
And
never knew what the ES stood for.
I'm going to be really honest. The one thing that sold me on the whole thing, it wasn't Castlevania, it wasn't Super Mario, or is it Super Mario World? I can't remember. Anyways, it wasn't any of that. It was Super Mario RPG.
I've never heard of that.
It was this game that my brother had on the original Super Nintendo, and it was a game I always tried to play, but never really could get past. Like it's structured like Final Fantasy, okay, but it's Super Mario and all the characters therein and a few added extras. But like, it's I don't know. It's a really neat game, But I started playing it as a kid, and I couldn't get past like, I don't know. There was a certain point that I would never get past. Not that I couldn't, not that I wasn't able to, but it wouldn't hold my attention long enough. Because if you've ever played a Final Fantasy game, you know that they get, the stories can get really drawn out, and it was the same case here. But I don't know. It was I played it and beat it within the first week, and I was like, oh man, wow, thought there was more. But I mean,
Games seemed so hard when I was a kid. And I would some things I think I went back and played again and they weren't.
no, because
But-
we didn't know what grinding was. We
Right.
didn't know what grinding for levels was, or anything like that. So
I'll tell you, there's one game if I could go back and beat, because I never beat this game. I got to the last boss and could never beat it because it was so stupid. Was a Star Fox game, the one where you're on the planet, the dinosaur
Adventures,
planet.
Star Fox Adventures, or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah,
Where you just fight this whole time. You just have this staff, and you're you do shoot a little bit, but it's not very much. You're mostly just
there's dinosaurs.
there's dinosaurs, and then the last boss you get in a spaceship and you're shooting at a planet-sized moon thing, and like the entire game you have not done that, and then they expect you to just start doing this. I'd never played a Star Fox game, never played one since. It's the only Star Fox I ever knew about.
I played Star Fox 64 back when you can rent games.
Yeah.
We rented that one, and I tried to rent that one every single time, but I could never get far enough into it. But man.
I would like to go back because I figure I could beat that game easily enough now.
Oh, yeah.
As an adult. But
I played Star Fox 64, and I played the one after the one you're talking about. And funny enough, in the one after that, you actually go back to that dinosaur planet. It's being taken over by these weird, like...
that chick is in the game after that all the time, right?
Yeah.
Crystal?
She takes a permanent position, like, in the ship and stuff, yeah. The whole planet's being, like, taken over by these robotic symbiote things trying to take over all the dinosaurs and stuff. It's really weird.
I played that. I actually have Star Fox 64. I played it like one time and did not like it.
Are you serious? That's like one of the greats.
I got my Nintendo 64 I bought from a friend back when I was probably 11 or 12, and he had a ton of games for it. And so I've just got a bunch of the games, and I mean, there's a few of them that I actually liked and played.
I bought a 64 for the first time in college.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
Never had
man.
Did
my
it
first
come
console.
out at the same time as the PlayStation? Because
doubt
PlayStation
it.
was so much better.
It was in that
PlayStation
generation.
Came out shortly
It was in that
after.
generation.
And
but
it
wasn't
was like
immediately.
it seems like Nintendo always puts something out right before the technology gets good enough for something better.
Nintendo likes to be separate. They don't want to make discs for some reason, or they want to make different size discs.
Yeah.
And
Well,
they just love the, what do they call the little
Cartridges.
The cartridges. Yeah, they went back to cartridges with the Switch. Like,
well, I mean, they're not as easy to damage, and you also have that sense of control. Like,
but they're never going to have as much power as something as it is.
We had discs.
GameCube.
We has discs.
yeah,
I know.
Game-
Yeah.
GameCube
right.
discs.
But
GameCube had small discs,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah,
That's what I was
sure.
meaning by
Yeah.
different
Something a
size
little
discs.
I heard that was gonna. The reason that they made them small is because they were gonna launch a handheld console. Like,
Really?
yeah, that supported those discs.
That would never work. Was PSP,
PSP worked.
was that?
It was a similar size.
It was kind of like a disc inside of
It was a
cartridge.
disc inside of a cartridge.
Yeah.
It was
The
just so you couldn't damage the
Yeah.
disc. It
Yeah.
only the cartridge was only open where the laser would read it. Probably.
As someone who like
a good
had
idea.
instead of a Walkman had a CD disc that I would try to carry around and listen to, I damaged so many CDs by just like kind of
Yeah.
holding it at weird
Yeah.
angles and stuff. And it'd be hard to do a console like that.
Oh man, yeah.
I love GameCube. GameCube is probably the best console made
I
to
think
date.
that one came out about the same time as PS2. GameCube
I mean,
did. I love a
generation
GameCube
wise,
controller.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
GameCube
The
is
triggers
really
were
nice.
like they were pressure sensitive, but then they clicked. It
Yeah.
felt just like a trigger when you pulled that thing.
See, that's what I played Resident Evil 4 on when that game first came out, and that was a revolutionary shooter game because it was one of the first games where you actually get to aim and you know where you're aiming. It's not just point your gun in this direction
And it
fire a
all
couple
aims
shots,
for you.
and kind of like that. I mean, but you get to control precisely where you're shooting, and like I wouldn't have had it any other way than on the GameCube.
Me and one of my friends played. Like every time I went to his house, we'd play Medal of Honor: Rising Sun. We'd start at the beginning and just play all the way through the thing, and it was on GameCube, and we'd play it for hours. And
Yeah.
gosh, that was so much fun. I'd love to play that.
GameCube was my first console that I got as a kid, and it was like a Black Friday bundle, and I got the whole pack of Legend of Zelda games, and played nothing but Ocarina of Time. Like I loved Ocarina of Time.
That one got
never beat that game either.
My
Those games are
stepdad.
long.
My stepdad at the time, he knew that I loved Pokemon, right around that time, and like took it upon himself. I never expressed wanting a GameCube. I thought it was awesome, but I never expressed it. But he went out and, for Christmas one year, got me a Pokemon XD version GameCube. It's still got the dark Lugia on the top of it. It's silver. Like I still have the game. Dude, that was the most lit Christmas I could ever remember. Like
That thing's probably worth money.
it is. I've seen
GameCube stuff is still so expensive.
Oh, is it?
I've seen there's like a Pokemon shop in New York City that has all these collectibles.
I would love to go there.
And they have those consoles, and that I think I can't remember how much they were selling for, but hundreds of dollars.
Oh, jeez.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I would never sell this thing.
No.
I am playing this thing till it grinds down.
My GameCube, the thing that broke on it was the lid stopped closing, and that was the only thing that stopped on the thing.
Yeah.
I loved my GameCube. I would buy a GameCube now, probably.
Oh man, yeah.
It's got the same games on anything else does. I mean, except for the Nintendo. There's always the Nintendo specific games.
Yeah.
Mario and Luigi's
Sonic.
Mansion and Sonic the Hedgehog.
My wife will always bring up this thing. We went and bought a PlayStation 2 together up in Missouri when she was going to school up there, and we were going through this store and we were on the PlayStation side, on the PlayStation 2 side, and she goes, so where's the Mario game for PlayStation? And she says that I said it in a hateful way. I don't think I said it in a hateful way, but I looked at her, I narrowed my eyes, and I said, they don't make Mario.
She should know that. Anyone should know that.
I feel like that's
Common
not a wrong
knowledge.
way to be. Anyone would know that. But no, she's like, oh, acting like you know better than me.
You do know better than her.
Like
if
you
know
should
what
know.
Mario's on.
Mario is Nintendo 100%.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize that was up for debate.
Yeah, didn't know that was not common knowledge. So something we've talked about, and we're kind of getting close to here. What was everyone's first game that they ever played? And this is hard because I don't know.
I can go first because I think I might know. I remember. Okay, I'm not going to say it's the first game I ever played. It probably was. Mm-hmm. When we got our first computer, there was a pinball game on it called Looney Labyrinth, and I might have played that before this other game. I don't think I did, though, because I was only 3 or 4 when we got a computer. Mm-hmm. And we got this game called Hardcore 4x4.
Now you've got me thinking even further back than I was planning. Go ahead.
It was called Hardcore 4x4. I played it all the time. This is the one that actually changed me as this is when I got into video games. Was playing this game, and I remember I can't remember if I pulled out an old computer or something and got it to work a few years ago or something. Unplayable. I could not. It's 3D. It's like a racing game now where you're behind the vehicle. You can see the environment around you, but it is so pixelated and glitchy, and it's trying to be realistic with you're going over big bumps and stuff, and it's shaking around. I couldn't look at it. But that's Hardcore 4x4 was the first. I think the first game I really got into.
Tyrel, do you know yours?
I was thinking it was Nintendo, but actually, I do remember playing. I think the first game I ever played. I don't know what the name of it was, but it was a racing car game on the Atari.
Okay.
That
I've never owned an Atari.
I've got an Atari.
I don't think
My
I've
mom
ever
has
played an
one.
Atari.
I played it, but I'm not missing much.
racing
Sorry, everybody, but
Pitfall's really fun. I don't even think I have Pitfall for my Atari, but I played it on remakes, and that's really fun. And I have Mario Brothers for the Atari.
For the Atari?
Yeah, it came out on Atari.
Huh.
And there's a couple other games. They're fun for a few minutes, but anyway, go ahead, Tyrell. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh, that's better.
What was it? What did you say?
I don't remember what the name of it was.
Pole Position.
No, I don't think it was.
That's the classic racing game. Atari.
Well, that could have been. Yeah, that was Atari.
It might have
Pole
been.
Position was. It was an arcade game too.
I don't remember what it was called. I just remember it was kind of
I remember arcade
It was
games.
a 2D, almost like a 2D side scroller, but it was everything was coming at you.
Yeah,
you're
that
kinda
sounds
moving
like Pole
from side to
Position.
Oh,
side.
okay. Oh, and Rally X is a really good game. That may not be Atari. I think I'm naming arcade games. I think Pole Position was only arcade, and Rally X.
I don't know.
Rally X is awesome. It's you're in kind of like a maze, and you have to pick up all these flags, but there's red cars chasing you, kind of like Pac-Man. But you can you
Sounds
have
like Tron.
it's kind of you have a smoke screen you can put out that'll spin them out, and you can get them away from you. But it's cool because you got to put the moves on them to get away from them and get the flags. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's kind of like a cross between Tron and Pac-Man.
Okay.
That's
Say,
cool.
what was your first game?
My first game. Thinking back to it, I think it was Duck Hunt on the Nintendo, the original
my gosh.
Nintendo.
Oh my gosh.
I would play Duck Hunt for hours right now.
Yeah. It was incredible that game worked.
How did that technology work?
I don't know.
I think it worked kind of how a remote control works, with with the glass bulb on the front, and it just pointed.
Was
in that
there
direction.
anything? Was there a sensor bar with the TV or
No,
anything?
nothing.
Had to. Like, how did it know if you were aiming in the left or right corner?
It must have just been a timing thing.
Like I'm saying, like kind of like a TV remote. You know, you can point the TV remote here, but you're not going to get anything. You point it over here, and on the TV, I don't know.
So as long as you're pointed near the television,
But you miss.
Yeah, you did miss.
Like, I bet you could find a YouTube thing explaining how that works.
I'm sure.
because it's not like
If
a
it turns
Wii.
out that it's just chance, I'm gonna be so.
That'd be
tipped off.
super. That'd be horrible.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Oh
though.
well, if you just shot 3 times, you know you get.
Maybe it's just a timing thing. Like if you shoot at the right point when it
The
crosses.
duck can only get shot in this one square, and you have to pull the trigger right at that square.
I don't
Doesn't
know.
matter where
See,
you're aiming.
I hooked up my, a
Remember the
Nintendo. Well, I hooked up an original Nintendo to like my dad's new TV, like one that you have here, and does not work at all.
Really?
Not compatible 100%. No. Not at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
You just hook it up to like the antenna port, right?
Yeah.
That's a screw in.
No. You can play the games. Duck Hunt does
you
not
can't
work.
Play Duck Hunt.
Duck Hunt does not work.
Because of the gun.
Yeah.
I wonder if your gun was
That is
just faulty.
wild. Wow.
No. I looked it up at the time. That's why I know kind of a little bit about this. Is it's not compatible with.
We're gonna have to
TVs.
look up.
I've got to
technology.
look this up later. This
Yeah.
is so interesting to me now.
Maybe it has something to do with the convex.
Okay,
Maybe.
so what's your game?
Okay, so I'm going even further back than I thought because my dad got a computer when I was like, oh my gosh, 4 maybe. It was like the first time a computer came out. And I had a Pocahontas game on floppy disk.
You had a floppy disk
I had a
game?
floppy
That's
disk
like
game.
more rare than an Atari game.
I had a floppy disk game.
Pocahontas.
Insane.
What was it, like an RPG?
I have no clue. Probably a Kellogg's kind of thing that you got,
Yeah.
for sending in box tops or something.
I actually had one of those Kellogg's top games with X-Men Evolution when that was big.
No,
Anyway, sorry.
legit, a game me and my sister used to play all the time. It came in a Captain Crunch. Maybe you had to send for it or something. I can't remember what it was
Are you
called.
talking about the Captain Crunch game?
Yeah, it was.
I freaking love with
Where
the
you-
monsters.
Yes, the Crunchlings.
That was yes. That was such a freaking great game. I actually watched someone play that here just a few weeks ago. Like looked up, hey, that Captain Crunch computer game, and it looked horrible.
I don't remember what it was called, but yeah, you make your little Crunchling guy and you grow him up.
and you like there's a skateboarding thing.
Yep.
There's a jumping on the different
Yeah,
platforms
and there's
thing.
one more.
And
You can jump so high on that platform
that's the
thing
only
when
two
you
things.
get the adult
but you like
Crunchling.
yes, it was so hard as a kid, and then you grow them up. That is yes.
What are the odds
I
that
don't
we've all
know.
played that? And you can paint them different colors.
Yep, just make them look like whatever you wanted.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my lord, I
that's
can't
awesome.
believe you played that game.
My life since I was born has been about video games. Like I was saying, we had the NES. I think the first console that we had was a Sega Genesis. Like the NES was like my dad's thing. He liked to play Mike Tyson's Punch Out and Super Mario Brothers or Mario Brothers, whatever it was. But then he bought us a Sega, and Sonic was my steez. Sonic and an
Yeah,
X-Men
Sonic is
game.
originally it's a Nintendo thing now, right? Though Sonic.
Yeah.
But it was a
Sega.
Sega.
Mhm.
Yeah, Sega. I guess they gave up.
No,
They
they
just- they had the
went
Genesis-
bankrupt.
And now they still make games, right?
No,
They made
did
Sega
Sega go
arcade
into
games.
Sony? I don't know
Sega, from what somebody, I remember a teacher talking about this once. Sega
Probably
started,
Mr. Comstock.
maybe I
Seems
can't
like a
remember,
Mr. Comstock conversation.
but like Sega started out with the discs. You know, they were really on the cutting edge of that, and then like I don't know if they sold that to Sony or if like somehow they had some sort of power and basically Sony got a hold of it and then just absolutely skyrocketed from there and bankrupted Sega.
I thought they might have started with arcade games, because I know
Maybe.
a lot of
Street Fighter.
stand-up arcade games are Sega.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm sure they did, but like that's the Sega Saturn was like ahead of its time.
That's crazy.
The
You know,
Sega Saturn.
I've never even heard of
That
that.
was a console.
Yeah, Sega.
I did not
There
know
was
that.
Sega Genesis, Jupiter, and then the Sega Saturn.
I've not
Oh,
heard
I've
of the
heard
Jupiter.
of the Genesis.
Yeah, Genesis. All
Yeah,
that.
I know Crazy Taxi was made by Sega, and that's like my favorite arcade game.
Sewer Sharks, that was on Sega Saturn. The only reason I know so much about Sega Saturn is a guy we went to high school with. Seth, that he was a Sega fanboy
Who?
all the time. Aaron.
Okay.
That's what I was going to guess.
Yeah, he was all the time talking about it. Let me see if I can find it.
I have
Sega
another question I
Dreamcast.
thought of during this conversation while he's looking up something, and I want y'all to be thinking about what games influenced you as gamers. Like, what games in your childhood do you remember putting a bunch of time into?
Just childhood.
Yeah, because I mean, any game that's kind of been like important to you, I guess, and not that a video game can really be important, but like something that you fell in love with, I guess. And I can go first once Tate's done talking about what he was talking about.
Sorry, I was just Googling all
That's
this.
fine. Sometimes you gotta Google something.
He can come back. Go ahead and talk about it.
Okay, for me, like, Kingdom Hearts was a big one because I would go to a friend of mine or a cousin of mine's, and that was a game. But I think before that, when I was a kid, I went to Anthony's house in kindergarten. In kindergarten, and he had a wrestling game, and I didn't have video games. Like we were
Nintendo 64,
His
NWO versus it was like
all I remember.
WCW, NWO.
I remember
Revenge.
Ric Flair. I remember Goldberg. But that was what we played a whole bunch. And I I would go to a friend's house because I didn't have a TV. I did not have video games growing up. So I would go to a friend's house and I'd stay up till 4 a.m. by myself. They would passed out a long time ago because they didn't care. It was their everyday thing.
Yeah.
And it was something special to me. When he got Spider-Man for the 64, Spider-Man 2000, I think it was called. Oh my God, that game was incredible. Like,
Yes.
I told my mom, I found out I got a Kellogg subscription to this game, and you could only play the first level of it. And I played that every day, over and over, until you got in the bank, and then the game would stop.
Yeah.
And I played that so much, and I told mom and dad, like, I want to start working. I've got to start, like, I'm going to start taking the trash out. I'll burn it. I'll do the dishes. I've got to start making money so I can buy this game. That was a very important game to me.
Yeah. Oh, dude. And I remember I didn't even realize, like, when I found out that you had the game.
Yep.
What did you?
I beat the game.
Did I? Yeah. Did I get the game?
You had it
before
first.
You?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, see, because I remember us talking about it, and I was like, "Whoa, this is the same game? Are you serious?
Yeah.
What?" And you were always ahead of me on it.
Yeah.
So I was
had the
always
computer.
asking you about
Yeah.
it, and I was like, "Wait, I don't know what you're talking about."
I had the computer, and you had the 64.
64.
And so, like, I could do... I got really good because it was the first game I'd ever played. I used my left hand on the directional pad over here, and then my right hand was on the number lock side. And that's what it was. Like, 2 was jump, and 9 was web slinging. And I could beat the game. I beat the game. The last thing you do is, like, run away from Venom Doc Ock.
It's not Venom, it's Carnage.
Carnage Doc Ock, right?
Yeah.
And
I couldn't do
Tate
that.
never could do that. And, like, I went over to his house and just cold picked it up and almost beat it, but couldn't do it because I wasn't used to the 64 controllers. And him and his dad were both just freaking out about how close I'd gotten because
Oh, my
they'd never been
gosh.
that far in.
No, I just, like, it was, and I was so freaked out at that game.
Yeah.
Like, that was probably the first time I've ever really been scared of a game because, like, you're running from, he's like,
Yes, it was very scary.
in like
That was spot on.
oh my gosh, like, I was like, okay, I can't do it. I'm just stressed out.
Yep.
You know, it's like if I fall once, he's got me.
Yep.
And there were sometimes even like he would crawl over me. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I made it. I can just run past him.
And they'd blow something up. Yeah.
Immediately, if I get even with him, he like gets me.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm done. I can't do this. I'm too scared.
Did you ever beat that ever?
Nope.
That's a game like you should go back and... I freaking loved Spider-Man.
Oh, man, I wanted to see the end of it so bad.
Another one, Ocarina of Time. That was a big game. I put so many hours in that game. Never beat it as a kid. Star Fox was a big one that I played a whole bunch of. Let's see.
I'm going to be honest with you. I never picked up a Zelda game until probably 3 years
See,
ago.
I'm not a big fan of very many other ones. Like, I had a love for Ocarina of Time, and that actually had a whole bunch of other games on there. It had 1, 2, and the one where you have, like, a certain amount of days. The The moon was
Mask,
evil or something.
Majora's
Majora.
Mask. Majora's Mask.
Majora's
I
Mask.
remember playing through
Hated that game. I didn't like any of the other ones. I liked Ocarina of Time. It was the best looking one, I think. Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask did look just as good because it was that same 3D kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it was harder. So
Yeah.
as a kid, I didn't get it.
I've since played Ocarina and love it.
Yeah, I
dude.
could like.
I mean, well, that's the thing. It's not like we're telling anybody we're not giving anybody news. All right.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Ocarina is one of the best.
Yeah.
You know, but oh man,
It might be the best. Like it might be highest rated. I don't know. Let's see. Kingdom of Hearts. Like I think that's why I got a PlayStation 2 was because I wanted to play Kingdom Hearts because I played it with my cousin Michael.
Kingdom Hearts, dude.
You just beat Kingdom Hearts for the first time, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You know what's disappointing? I bought Kingdom Hearts when it came out. I think about this time last year, and played like 2 minutes of it and never played it again.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
3, yeah. It was a major disappointment after
Really?
waiting so long. Because Kingdom Hearts 2, I've beaten multiple times. Kingdom Hearts 1, and I've played a bunch of the in-between ones. But Kingdom Hearts 3, man, it was like a kid game. It just was, it turned it in, I don't know. It was not.
Well,
in the
I think
world.
with the whole Disney Infinity thing, this was kind of a continuation.
Maybe.
Is kind of like not a soul successor, but like a spiritual successor to the Disney Infinity thing. Maybe I haven't played it, but I can only imagine if it seems like it's geared towards kids. Which I mean, at first, I mean that's the appeal of it is it's Disney characters, and the only appeal that we would have to it is like the whole Final Fantasy, aspect.
See, I've never played any Final Fantasy games, so I didn't know what those characters were. To me, it was seeing like Mickey and Donald.
Yeah,
and Goofy and
exactly.
stuff
That's
that was
what brought
super
us
cool.
into it. And then like that odd mix of like you've got
Fake
this
and
really
realism.
dramatic, you've got this really dramatic music in the background, and it's
Yeah.
like, whoa,
Kingdom Hearts was a beautiful game.
This is a
I could beat
deep
that right
story,
now.
and it's like there's also Donald Duck, and he's a wizard,
Super serious.
Yeah.
And when Goofy dies in the second one, like just
Okay, first off, rude. I have not even.
Sorry.
I'm barely into it.
okay, my bad.
It took me 4 hours to beat the
island?
Roxas part.
Oh, Roxas was horrible. I'm thinking of the
Dude.
album. Roxas was bad. Horrible.
I was just
beginning.
like, dude, if I play this as Roxas for the rest of the game, I am literally.
That's how I felt when I first got the game. Like, cause that was when I got that.
Tell
when
me
it came
more
out.
about Sora. There's something going on.
Tyrel, you ever play these games?
I've watched Cameron play it a couple of times, and I have played a little bit.
I think anyone would enjoy Kingdom Hearts.
I think,
Yeah.
But going on, Captain Crunch, that was actually a very important game to
Yeah,
me as a
me
kid.
too, I think so.
Lego had an online thing back when
Oh, I used to
internet
play
was
Lego
first.
Island.
Was that on the internet?
No, it was just.
Well, Lego had some different games on the internet that you could play.
I completely forgot about that.
And like I remember AOL messaging an aunt of mine asking how to spell Lego, and I misspelled it because I did not know how to spell it because I could not find the website. I didn't have Legos growing up, but I love this. I remember I am still Bud 10,000 to this day. That is my handle on games because I tried to be Bud 1 or just Bud that wasn't long enough, Bud 1 that was taken, and I just kept adding zeros until it let me have it. And I created Bud 10,000 as like a 6-year-old kid trying to play on Lego.com.
That's
hilarious.
amazing.
And my password was TikTok because I was never going to remember any kind of password. So it was just all lowercase TikTok. I remember that. That is how
Oh my
important
gosh.
Lego.com was to me as a kid.
I think I used to go. I'm having some weird, deep memories trying to come up right now, and I feel like I used to get on there too. There's some website I used to get on. It had to be that. What was it? What did you play
I think
on
it was
there?
just Lego.com.
it wouldn't
And,
have been
They just
like-
had different adventures. Like, it was not... There was one where you were in, like, a Hollywood movie place, and I didn't really like that one, but it kind of became that's all there was, and you just had to, go and get some different items to, open up a gate to go into the next area and stuff. But there was, one where you were underwater as a scuba diver, and there was some evil pirate or something. I don't remember completely.
Okay, I don't remember that.
And
I'm just having
What I remember.
No, it was HotWheels.com that I used to get. Yes.
See-
Okay, I'm having
See, when
I
we
feel like
jump
I'm
to
in
this whole
therapy right now or
online thing,
something.
the game that y'all are having a similar experience with, mine was Bionicle.
I remember Bionicle.com.
it was like Adventures of Mata Nui or something like that. I can't remember. But like you played as this little short Bionicle guy, and the more Bionicles you bought in real life, the more masks you could get for your character, and the masks would unlock certain things. I bought the black one and I bought the white one.
I never got into Bionicle.
I wasn't
I
either.
remember that.
I love Bionicle.
What was it?
did too.
Zayblade? Zayblade? Seems like that was what it was. Huh? Beyblade.
But that's the spinning tops,
Yeah,
right?
I wasn't into that, but that was a big thing when I was a kid.
I remember that in school. Like
I remember in 4th grade, Seth, one time I nearly tried to choke you out because we had these tops that we made out of these little polygons.
Yep.
I'm going to say now, I'm sorry. I was embarrassed. I'm also sorry for breaking the reflector off your bike.
Oh my god!
I just want to bring that up.
On my birthday, in fact.
On your birthday. Like, this was probably 20 years ago.
Oh yeah, easily.
On this very day. When you were 8
I got
years
a
old.
brand new bicycle.
I
Yeah, 'cause
rode
this
it.
is Seth's birthday, by the way.
I rode it.
Happy birthday
I rode
to
it
me.
up this road. I rode
Yep.
it up this driveway.
Yep.
And I stood up and I was like, oh man, this is really
And used
short.
the front brake instead of the back.
Oh my gosh. Went over the handlebars, scratched up my arm,
and
broke
the reflector. And I did not care. Like, who cares about a reflector? I did not care.
Well, I felt really bad because
That bike was so cool because it had those little things that goes on the spokes, and when you chink 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 chink
It
sound.
made sounds.
Yeah,
Oh man, I always ran over cans. Like,
yeah, I would do that too.
and I would run over cans and let it sit on the top, and it sounded like a dirt bike.
Yeah.
I want to know how many people can sit in their living room and talk talk on a podcast about stuff with their friends from 20 years ago. Like that, I don't know. It's just crazy.
It's special.
Yeah, like we all like grew up together.
Yeah.
I've been in church with Tyrel since I was
I dated your
A wee
sister. That's
one.
how me and you got to be friends.
yeah, and youth group too.
Well, I was in youth group because I dated your sister.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't friends with
Which,
y'all two. till I
funnily, it was
probably
it was
14.
Anthony who invited me though. It
Was
was
it?
not. It was not Amanda. It was you because that you remember y'all used to draw challenges out of a little bowl,
Oh, we sure did.
and that's
his
something
was
that you had
invite
to do.
somebody.
And you was invite someone to youth group, and I think I came that day.
Hey, that's awesome.
Like, I think I was at school for a long time or something
Yeah.
afterwards, and you're like, hey, man, I want you to come to this. And my girlfriend was going, so I was like, yeah, I'll start coming. And I stayed in that youth group long after we broke up.
Yep.
And I all three of you were in that youth group with me.
Yeah,
Like,
I found out that
our entire lives have been spent together.
I mean, I met Tyrel through the youth group, and then we found out a number of years later that we're somehow related.
Yeah.
His
My grandma's related to
his grandma's like my grandpa's aunt,
something like that.
or something. I can't remember. I don't know.
Cousin.
It's
yeah.
wild.
Something
Something like that. Yeah. And then me and Seth. Good Lord, my son,
kindergarten,
what in the
when
world?
you moved in.
First
to
up,
Concord.
yeah. I
Y'all
was
been
like,
friends since the first day of kindergarten. Or
not the
since you
first
moved
day
in
because
from
I wasn't
in
here.
kindergarten.
Yeah, he wasn't there for a little while.
But
yeah,
still since
like 2
kindergarten.
months maybe,
Yeah.
but I was still in that 13.
Did we let you in the senior picture? I think we did because
Yeah.
you were just always there.
Yeah, because Brian was talking about how he wasn't going to.
Yeah,
Or-
he
or
missed
they-
1 year.
Yeah,
And Aaron was like, I'm not going to be in the picture if Brian can't be in the picture.
and I was thinking to myself, like, if Brian isn't in the picture, then do I deserve to be in the picture? You know, but
You were there. You missed less than he did, so
Yeah.
technically you would have been.
yeah,
There was not very many of us in that picture. Caitlin, I think, was she?
yeah, she
Caitlin
was.
Brackett, Aaron Haggerty, Tim, which he was not in our class. He was in a class above
He was
us.
he was the 14-year crew, not the 13.
Terrence was also a 14-year crew.
Slade,
Slade, me and you.
Nikki Lindsay, or
Nikki Lindsay.
Nicole
There's
Pettit.
more.
Ariel Pettit.
Yeah,
That girl went through so many names.
so many.
There's way more people than I'm thinking. I just remember like 4 or 5
There's
of
a-
us, but
there's-
there was
there's
apparently
a-
more than that.
There's quite a few.
We got way off track. Video games that y'all cared about growing up.
Yeah, sorry guys, sorry.
I'll keep mine short. Well, I was really trying to think.
Oh, I forgot one. Sly Cooper 3.
There were some computer games that
Sly Cooper 2 was mine.
I got 3 at Black Friday. Sorry. Last thing. Got Sly Cooper 3 to Black Friday. Played
Wait.
that, beat that.
Is Sly Cooper 3 the one where you're going up against
The Den of Thieves, where trying to get into your dad's old area. The monkey is the bad guy who used
Oh.
to run with your dad. Okay,
No,
that's 3. Got that one, beat that one, and then like had my mom buy 1 and 2 off of eBay for me, and I emailed the guy acting like I was my mom, thanking him and saying that my son can't wait to play these games. Totally remember that. Go ahead, AJ.
Okay, I'm gonna go console games, but I had for the computer I had Test Drive Off Road and Lego Island and like the original Need for Speed. Like we're talking about way back when. I loved racing games when I was young, but I think one of the first game I got for the PlayStation. We were at my grandma's on Christmas. I think I was 5. And we got 4 games. It was for me and my sister. My sister didn't play that much, but we got Casper, Hot Wheels, called Hot Wheels Turbo Racing. Gosh, I can't remember what the other 2 were. But anyway, Hot Wheels was a big one for me because I played that all the time. That was a super cool game. I'd still play that right now. But then I remember we got in the mail a PlayStation demo disc. They used to send out the demo discs.
I had thousands of those.
Yeah, and they were really good. I mean, they'd make you want
my
to play one. I wish they
gosh,
still
yes.
did that. But on there was a game called Ape Escape. Did you all play it? Did you play that?
I never played it, but it was like a flagship for the PlayStation.
Yeah, we got Ape Escape and the first Spyro, and we played those on the demo disc a lot and really liked them.
Yeah.
Did you play the whole game, or was it just a certain?
No, it was
Okay.
like the first level, like whatever.
They give you a random level within it.
And then I remember one day we were at my house because we liked those games. Even my mom at the time was playing a lot of video games, and she liked Ape Escape and Spyro. And I remember she looked like she was getting ready to go somewhere. And I went there. I said, "What are you doing? Where are we going?" She said, "I think we're going to go to town." I said, "What for?" She said, "How about we go get Ape Escape and Spyro?" I was like, "Yes,
Let's go.
And so we played those. I mean, we wore them out. And still sometimes, like when my sister comes in to visit, we'll pop in an old game. She likes to watch
I gave
me play
you
stuff.
Sly Cooper because that was one of your
Yeah,
old games.
and we played some of those. But yeah, so I would say probably Ape Escape. It had a mini game in it where you could box with monkeys. You were a monkey and you would box, and I would rub blisters on my thumbs on the analog sticks. I think the reason that was a flagship game was because it was shortly after the analog stick dual shock controllers came out, and that was the first game I played where you used both joysticks like you do now. And I think that was why it was. Because you would run with one stick and you would swing your weapon or the monkey net or whatever with the other one. So anyway, yeah, great game. Tyrel, go ahead.
Oh man, I think one of the first games like that I really enjoyed. I mean, I remember playing the Atari, but I think that one that I really enjoyed was Super Mario, like just the original one.
Oh,
Mega Man.
I remember when I found out you could get 100 lives by jumping on that turtle on like the first level or third level or something.
On Mega Man?
No, on Super
Oh,
Mario.
on Super
Brothers.
Mario. Oh, okay.
And you just like would stay there. You wouldn't have to do anything, and he'd just keep jumping on it, and it would just bounce, and you just keep jumping and get
until
to
it ran
100
out
lives.
of time, I guess.
No, until you got 100 lives, then you finish the level.
Oh, I thought it had a timer on it.
It does, but
Oh.
it doesn't take very long to.
Oh, okay.
It just takes like 100 jumps or something.
Oh,
Go ahead, Ty.
But yeah, Mega Man. I actually played through the first one and beat it all the way through. I remember. Then I think the game that really got me into like the better consoles. I still remember my mom bringing home a Nintendo 64 and playing Banjo-Kazooie.
I think I remember Michael playing Banjo-Kazooie, and I never got into it.
I never got into it either.
It was a fun game. I mean,
Iconic, but I never.
I remember playing Banjo-Kazooie on the McDonald's.
Yeah,
They had that
at
in the play
McDonald's, yeah,
place.
Yeah.
They would have that circle in the middle with different games on
I remember
each
playing
side.
Mario 64 at McDonald's.
Yep.
Oh, man.
They always had
What
Nintendo
a
64 stuff in there, and I played Banjo-Kazooie on that. That's the only time I ever played it. That's
Kids
hilarious.
today just don't know what it was like to go to Walmart and run to the video game section
And play
and
demos.
kill your neck by the end of it.
your-
Just
I would-
staring straight up. And like you'd hate it if
Until
someone
your
else was there
mom-
because you know you're never going to get a turn.
Until your mom, like for me, whenever we went to Walmart, I'd always go off. Like it was, like we were at the mall. I'd
Yeah, just
go
go.
off and like, Mom, I'm going to the toy. I'll see you later. And like, I go to look for her.
Never find her.
Oh no!
See, I was always I'm just going to be here until you come find me.
Yep.
You're coming for me. I
I
ain't
did
going
that
to
like
you.
when Guitar Hero came out, and they always had Guitar Hero over
Yeah.
there. I
and
would
Hastings.
played that so much.
Like my parents, my parents would drop me off at Hastings and sit in the parking lot while I went and played video games for like 30 minutes. Like, that was pretty cool of them.
Yeah.
Well, we're
But
going
anyways-
down memory lane.
But anyways, Banjo Kazooie, and then
Okay, the game that really actually got me into like RPG style stuff was the first time I ever saw Oblivion. That was like 2006 or so, something like that. I watched Cameron play that, and that opening scene, like as you're coming out of that dungeon, and you see like all the different the landscape in that was like way ahead of its time. Like when it came out, that game had really good graphics,
cutting edge.
Yeah,
I remember when I got PS2 and I played Harry Potter, Goblet of Fire, and I thought, this is it.
we have made it.
We can't go any
Can't
further.
get better.
but yeah,
So real.
And I think I thought the same thing for Ocarina of Time. It was just so good.
watching him play that and playing that a little bit also kind of got me, because at the time I had just bought in the original Xbox, like the first one, and I found out that there was a prequel to Oblivion, so I went and bought Morrowind, and I kept looking for Morrowind, like if they would make a Game of the Year edition, or they had, but I never could find it. But I got the original version of that, and I played the crap out of it. I never did beat that game. I still haven't beat Morrowind, but
I don't think I could bring myself to play it.
I can't bring myself to play Oblivion.
It's really it's a fun game, but
yeah.
it is
I have it. It's right there.
it is a lot harder than Oblivion or Skyrim.
I have the same one. For me, wait, did you have any more?
No, go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't want to interrupt. I'm
No,
sorry.
go ahead.
For me, my life is like centered around video games. All right. So this could be exhaustive. I'm going to try to cut it down. Okay.
Try to, because we're like, no, we're at an hour 15. Yeah, give it about. We'll give you 15 minutes.
I probably won't even need that much. So, I mean, I told you like the first game I played was Duck Hunt, and that, it was really cool. My first actual console that I felt like was for us was a Sega Genesis, and I played like X-Men. I think we had an Aladdin game.
I feel like I remember that X-Men game.
Oh man, it was
Were
awesome.
could you be, who was the card thrower?
Gambit? Yeah.
Gambit. And you'd throw like little red cards that would fly like 3 foot past your body or something.
And I always loved to be Nightcrawler in that
He'd
game.
jump on the ceiling.
Yeah.
I remember that game from
So
Michael.
there was that, and then making the jump to PlayStation. I always loved to play Spyro. My brother had Resident Evil Director's Cut, and I played that like crazy. I never could make it very far because I was like 6 years old, and I was trying to do this elaborate zombie game. But anyways, that really set the tone for me to like, Resident Evil and other kind of horror games. And the demo discs. One game that I pulled from the demo disc that I love so much was Medieval. Is where you're the skeleton knight guy and you walk around. They actually
I
remastered
watched
it.
that. I think
They
I watched that
remastered
game.
it for the PS4, I think. Awesome game. Dino Crisis. The same people that made Resident Evil. It's Resident Evil, but with zombies. It was a little easier for me to kind of put things together.
Zombies are way not as scary.
Right.
Of course.
Of course. I think my dad bought me a PlayStation. A regular PlayStation. It was, all these other ones, my brother owned the PlayStation, so he lived with my grandparents, so he, had that there, so I'd play it there. But my dad actually went out and bought me a PlayStation, and he got 2 games with it. One was like Vegas slots or something like you could play like you were in Vegas, and I hated it. And then another one was Siphon Filter 2. And that was a shooter game. It was like espionage. It's awesome. And it said, I think it said damn in it once. And I was like, Dad, are you sure you want me playing this? It just said a cuss word, Dad. But he's like, all right, it'll be fine, play it. But the games that really molded me into actually loving video games, like Kingdom Hearts. The first Resident Evil game that I played and beat was Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube, and like set the tone. I'm trying to think of just one game in general that I just, it was on the computer. 2 games actually, both made by Blizzard. Diablo 2.
Heard they're making a remake.
They're making Diablo 4.
I heard they're remaking 2 as well.
Oh, I don't know if I could do it. I have it. I still have it on my computer. But Diablo 2, I would always play as the druid. That's what really got me into D&D, though. When you told me, you know, about it, and you know, we were going over it, and I was kind of being exposed to it, I was like, this is Diablo. This is what this is. That's Diablo. I'm gonna be, you know, I'm gonna be.
You were never a druid.
No, that's the druid in Diablo is. I thought he was way cooler. He could turn into a werebear, and so I walked around as a werebear everywhere I went, even into town. It was ridiculous. But and StarCraft, which was a real time strategy game, and like the
Fire Emblem. That's another one.
the
God,
whole
there's so many
story,
games.
the whole story of StarCraft, getting into it, it was just, for me, it was like compelling. It was ended on a cliffhanger. Even after Brood War came out, like I was like, oh my gosh. I ended that game, and I think I was like 7 or 8, and my brother was like, you know, scientists, they still haven't discovered all of the universe, so this could be real. And I was like, oh my God, Sarah Kerrigan is coming to Earth. She's going to turn me into a Zerg. Oh, I hate it. But like that set the tone for me to play video games, because in all of my spare time, I was playing Diablo 2 or StarCraft. And I mean, of course, that went into RPGs, that went into shooters. I mean, those were the two games that influenced me as a kid. And of course, there's a lot of iconic games that I've never played, like Final Fantasy VII.
See,
That is the standard. Apparently it is. I've never played it, but I mean, I want to. You know, but man,
I've had an interesting console experience in my life. The first thing I kind of got was a Game Boy Advance that I think my cousin Michael gave me, and they gave me Pokemon Crystal. It was like the first game I ever got with that. I had a Shrek the movie game, I think, on there. A Kim Possible game.
Shrek the game. It was Shrek 2.
Shrek 2, yeah.
That
on PlayStation.
On PlayStation 2.
Yep, I had that game
Party
too.
Up. We would get like
you could
four-person
have
parties.
4 people playing.
Oh my gosh, that game's lit.
Pokemon
was a really good
Silver
game.
was the very first game I ever bought with my money that I earned, and I still have it.
Spider-Man 2000 was my first
Yeah.
one. But then I went from that. My parents got me a GameCube for Christmas. Went to a PlayStation 2 on a birthday, like 2 birthdays after that. Then got an Xbox 360, I think. But I played Fable 1, so I don't... Seems like maybe you sold me your Xbox One. Maybe? Never
No,
had an Xbox?
never
Don't
had
know.
an Xbox.
Someone sold me an Xbox One. I only played Fable 1. Fable was
You mean
freaking
the
great
original
games.
Xbox?
The original Xbox,
Yeah.
the
Sorry.
Xbox One.
Yeah, my bad.
The first
the
Xbox.
original Xbox, yeah.
It
Then I
wasn't
got the Xbox 360. Went to college. Skyrim came out, and all my friends were playing Skyrim on PlayStation 3.
Oh my gosh.
Switched to PS3. Never looked back to Xbox. Got a PS4 now, and gonna buy a PS5 as soon as it comes out this year.
I got Skyrim and Modern Warfare 3 for Christmas, like in 2010 or 2011. I think it was 2011. I can't remember. But I didn't even open Modern Warfare 3 until like May the next year.
Should never have opened it. Should just kept
I
playing
mean,
Skyrim.
I was sucked into Skyrim.
Which I think I was big into Xbox 360 because all of us played
Yeah.
We were
Modern
all playing
Warfare
it.
2.
We had, yeah, Modern Warfare 2. It's like what I was telling. Remember when me and you and Malachi were playing at the church? We never even touched Modern Warfare 3, like hardly at all.
No, hardly ever. It was my favorite one to play online.
Modern
I was
Warfare
really
2.
good
they
at Modern
remastered
Warfare
it.
3.
Have you seen the remaster of it?
Of 2.
Is it part of the new? It's part of the new.
No, they remastered it well before the new.
I think it's part of the new Modern Warfare, though, isn't it?
But I think they may have bundled it. They may
Yeah.
Oh,
put it
okay.
in a bundle.
I think it's
Well.
just the campaign too. I don't think it's the multiplayer.
Right.
The Modern Warfare 2, we wore that out, and we still play it. Sometimes we get together.
I
for
have
old
a
times'
disc
sake.
in my house right now of an Xbox 360 Modern Warfare 2 that I found just from like moving.
Yeah.
I had 2 copies of it.
Yeah.
Because we would all system link.
We went to Christie's, the youth group leaders' basement,
Yeah.
and we would all bring our Xboxes. And
I would bring my TV.
we'd bring multiple TVs, and someone freaking knocked over an Xbox,
Wasn't
and we
that
had
Slade?
to. I don't
God
know.
forbid.
We had to go to town and buy a new one so that we could all
Man,
just
that's
keep playing. I think me and Taryn went and bought a new one.
A copy
new,
of the game?
A new copy of the game.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Xbox 360.
Why
The
we had it
downfalls.
standing
It's so
up,
fragile.
don't know.
But this was not, I mean, it wasn't that long ago. I was playing my PlayStation 2 upstairs, and my sister walked through and tripped on the controller cord. It ripped the PlayStation off of the entertainment center and smashed it on the floor. It never quit playing.
Now, did you have the Slim or?
That was actually the slim one.
Really?
The slim one is way less durable than the other one. The other one you could shoot with a gun and it would just keep
I've
playing.
got the box one right there. I had a Slim one, and its pop thing also stopped working, but I could place my broken GameCube on top of it. It was heavy enough that it would keep working.
Yep.
It would play.
You just tape them
You had
together
to do
and
that
flip
with
them.
the. You had to do that
whichever
with the
one you-
PS1. That they would the latch on them would break, and you'd stack books or something on top of
And it
them.
just worked.
The PS1 that I had was actually like the compact version. Like it was well after PS1 had come
Yeah,
out.
my grandpa. Has
I had
that
the small
It just
one.
has
It was
so
like
much-
this big.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Those were pretty sweet. I had the big one.
Yeah.
Big brick one.
I
Yeah.
love that they had that PlayStation symbol that you could spin around
Yeah.
to where it would look right wherever
because you
were,
could buy a
however.
stand for it to sit it upright. That's why they
I
had
didn't
that.
even know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
You could just spin it, and it would be standing upright if you wanted it sideways, and then you spin it back
That's
if you wanted
funny.
it flat.
Yep.
Hilarious.
Oh man.
Oh boys, we better shut this sucker down.
Yeah. Oh, is there a new conversation, or is it just we end on consoles?
If we have, does anyone have anything they want to talk about? I think we usually end on something I love that you
we
hate
just-
if we have
we always
something.
just-
It's just whatever we want to.
Whenever we end it, yeah.
I got you.
So this is a fun last conversation for you all to listen
Yeah,
to as we
yeah.
talk about what we're going to finish on.
Yeah.
No one has anything else they want to say?
I mean, no.
Guys, remember to check out Tiger Skull RPG.
Yep.
Please
them out.
check it out.
TigerSkullRPG.com.
content, super
Tiger
cheap.
Skull.
Get a new encounter every month.
Here's the awkward 5-second pause.
This has been
No.
Say it in common.
Say
What would you want
bye.
me to say?
Just like bye. See you guys.
Bye.
I didn't know what I was supposed to say. You do it all the time. I just said bye.
Thanks for listening to Say It in Common with the Commoners of D&D. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast to make sure you never miss an episode, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Commoners Official for news, updates, and exclusive content. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.